Hello everyone, this is Manna Mahmood back again on our enterprise solution design with open source Java frameworks. So we were discussing about three types of enterprise solutions that we will demonstrate how to build and design with open source frameworks. So the extent to our previous intersection, today we are going to go a bit technical and show the tools and frameworks that we are going to use in this journey, and day by day as we go it will become more technical and we will try to go and build things, deploy things and see the code structures and other things. Today we will focus on just introducing the tools. So the first one was we are calling that ERP, CRM and Salesforce automation. Those are dealing with structured data. So for that, the solution that I used and the industry is very known with this solution and very profound. Even the project management system that most of the software company uses, Jira, it is also based on that framework, and also Toyota used that, and so many big companies. So we know the name, that is from Apache, and the project is called Obese. So this is the leader of that project, David E. Jones, he created another repo, another development. He is calling it Mokui ecosystem, and this Mokui ecosystem is also on the same framework, Apache Obese framework, but it is separate development, more organized, a bit thinner than Apache Obese. Apache Obese is thick, it got lots of components for all sorts of things that are possible to do with the structured data. So this Apache Obese framework is mainly based on that is there is a term called UDM, Universal Data Model. Universal Data Model, universal resources, enterprise resources, the common guideline. There are books and online, if you search with this universal data model you will find, and based on those books basically this Apache Obese is developed. It's almost currently I think 12 plus years old project, stable, more than that. So I will just go a bit more detail on this. What is Obese? Obese is providing basically it is using the core libraries of Java, and it is giving entity engine. They are calling it entity engine. Very interesting. It creates tables from XMLs, and you can define entities. Already there are they have implemented the universal data model into that entity engine, and when we start up the system it will run the entity engine and create those databases, and you can use versatile sort of RDBMS, MySQL, Postgres, Oracle. So that is totally independent, and top of that entity engine they have created a service engine. And this service engine works on that top of that entity engine and provides services, and they have given versatile options, like you can create services with Java, you can create services top of with XML, you can create services with Groovy, and you can expose and you can customize the data formats, how you want the data to be exposed. You can also define those things, very flexible. And this entity engine and service engine. Top of that they have given a screen renderer. They have given a screen renderer, and this screen renderer is basically giving you the UI. You can use that, you can avoid that, you can use React.js, you can use totally HTML5 client on that. Even you can use this totally headless as a service API for your mobile app or something, and or you can also use this. Even you can use JSP and other app or server pages for that. This is the thing, and they if you bind these two things, you can create a module for them. They are calling the modules component. So you can download the components in even in when you start the server, and there is common patterns of request dispatching and action management, and those are also XML based definitions. You can easily do it. So as this default Apache Obese or Mokui has given most of the things done over there, from the customer management to sales and order and procurement management and inventory manufacturing, asset management, everything is over there. So you will need to do some customization for yourself if that needed. Most of the time you may not need to touch the code, even you just do it from the XML configurations easily. It is by default given by configured with Tomcat container, so there is more flexible also. So everything is there open source and fully open to customize as you like. So we will go to this into this solution and show you how you can customize, how you can install, and how you can do these things. So that we are looking forward to do in this series of videos, to know more about this Apache Obese and Mokui framework, Mokui ecosystem they are calling, and how you can use it for your organization with less customizations and with a stable and sustainable and scalable infrastructure. So that was the first one. So the tool you know now what we are going to do for ERP. Now for the collaboration part, with the last video we just discussed about the collaboration platform, and of course the open source Java framework for collaboration is this is, of course, it got specifications, like this is the portal technology. Portal technology is basically introduced in Java, and it is basically an extension. We called it's called extension of servlet. You know servlet. It's extension of extended servlet. It is called portlet. So you know that you need a servlet container to run servlet. That comes in Tomcat and other web servers. There is a servlet container. So to run the portlets that is extended from servlet, basically these portlets, you need a portlet container. So you need a portlet container to run the portlets. So the Liferay has come up with almost 12 years ago, I think, and with this portlet container, and combining with this a framework to do development on this portlet container, creating portlets, and that is they have done very good, and they have introduced that, and they have built the whole thing basically on Spring and Hibernate. So So most of the Java developers, they are very well known about with Spring and Hibernate. So it's totally open framework, everything you can see, the HBM files, the Spring configuration files, everything is there. All the beans are very much declared the way it should be in the web app. So there is nothing like it is portlet, so it is so different. No, it's not like that. So as like in web app, but yes, there is a difference between sublet and portlet. This is a basic difference I want to discuss, I think, and that can be I think we should show it, that you know, sublet got this do get, post, service, action, methods. Portlet has introduced something called render method. Render and action. So they have extended the HTTP request, made it like portlet request, and then extended it to called render request and action request. So there is a difference between the render request and action request. So when you have a portal, the portal, the benefit of portal is basically like in a single page you can have multiple portlets application running. So that's the benefit. You can create many portlet applications with all full cycle request management and request response management, and but you can deploy them on all them in the same page. So when you have several applications that can manage several requests but in the same page, so if you refresh that in the browser, so how the life cycle will be managed. So that is the thing. So every portlet will be rendered, and if you do an action call, it will be specific to that portlet basically. So I think I made it a bit complex. I mean, to make it a bit easy, if you refresh the HTML page, I mean, if you refresh the browser, if there is 10 portlet, all these 10 portlet will be rendered. So render method will be always called first. Whatever happens, render will be called, then action will be called. In action you can submit data and you can do the post things, you can submit data and you can do the actions like save, delete, update. But every time you call a action, a render method will be called. So like if there are 10 portlets, if you submit a data from the 5th portlet maybe, so it will submit the data, the full page will be refreshed, all the 10 applications render method would be called along with that. So this is something. So when you develop in Java the portal portlets, the very basic, you have to be careful, you have to make the render method clean. So it should be clean, so it works smooth. I got a bit technical, I'm sorry. I have to go technical, but I will do it when we will discuss more about Liferay. So yeah, so that's the thing. Basically, I didn't mention Liferay maybe earlier. So what we are going to introduce, this is, yeah, I think Liferay. Yes. So that's the thing we are going to introduce. This is Liferay. Liferay. This is a very good collaboration platform with lots of already by default given portlets as web applications like calendar, like groups, like community management, like microblogging, like blogs, announcements. So many applications are developed already in them, and they have already integrations done with LDAP, with mailing, email servers. They have integrated with integration works with open office for PDF conversions, and they have so many integrations available with Solar search engine, with Lucent search engine. Now currently they have with Elastic. So every sort of things already integrations, and all are done by Spring framework in underneath those. And then they have given a nice thing that is really good to first to create services, web services. They call it service builder. They call it service builder, and top of that service builder you can put JSP pages, or now currently in Liferay 7 they have given ways to develop with HTML5 binding technology, JS applications like with React, with Knockout, with Angular. You can create now smart front ends. So that is now possible very much with Liferay 7 too. Even you can use Liferay totally as a headless backend, and you can create your own apps top of that. And that's the thing. And they have their own security model, but those are also you can change, and you can implement your own. So that we will go in detail in Liferay when we do that. So for collaboration we are going to demonstrate, we are going to in detail show technically how to install, how to do Liferay things, and then analytics. Yeah, so yeah, that part is basically in Java. It's so many things in big data, and before the big data came we used to do data warehousing first. So this is something highly connected with this analytic. If you want to do analytical solution, you have to have a data warehouse first. It was something in the last decade, it was must. So data warehousing is basically given the opportunity for us in open source to do with Pentaho. Very good. There are other tools, but yes, Pentaho. This is so much open, and with known frameworks like Spring and ACGI security, and integrated with case single sign-on services. So integration with Liferay. So Pentaho came up with, it's also a very old solution along with like Liferay and Obese. Almost 12 years ago it started. Yeah. So yeah, and Pentaho is very nice. Currently they have become very vast. They are getting into this machine learning things, and they are giving a good orchestra to pipelining all these data normalizing, cleansing stuffs with all sort of data. But primarily it got three parts. One is they are calling PDI, and primarily it used to call cattle. So that was a ETL thing. You know, you want to do ETL to make a data warehouse, you have to do ETL first. So this ETL thing you can do with PDI, and then they got a part called their BI server that can run on Tomcat, There is a application done with Spring and other frameworks, and they have introduced a way to execute some actions. That actions can execute on data and create different sorts of reports, charts, and that is the reporting tool, that BI server. And then they got some open source frameworks to do OLAP, online analytical reporting basically. So it's basically the cube thing. It gives, you have to do reporting, you have to make cubes over this data warehouse data, and on that cube you can do MDX query, and you can create nice analytical reporting with drill down, drill up, slicing sort of. If you have not seen that before, it's very hard to make you understand it now. So when we will go in detail and show this, we'll try to install Pentaho and show how it works, then you can understand it more good. So that's the thing basically. And eventually we will do SSO. For SSO we will use case, all this central authentication service, authorization and authentication service it will provide. So there is a project called case. It's totally open source, and it is also so much stable and old community. And then there is LDAP. There is open LDAP we can use easily. So, and we can show how we can do that. Why we need SSO for LDAP? Because all these applications that will connect, they have to have a common identity provider, a user directory. That LDAP will be connected with Obese, with Liferay, with Pentaho, and all the services, and that will give you the authentication through case. And this LDAP and SSO and case all together, they will provide you a seamless single platform like feel that will provide this structured, unstructured data and their reporting. And of course, when you will start doing this sort of things, you have to do so many sort of, it's not only like you have authentication and you can do the things, you need to do data communication. So what is that? Yeah, so data communication and this data communication, there are versatile sort of things, like you can call a web service to consume data, and then there could be a job operation like ETLs, like Pentaho is calling lots of data from maybe Liferay things. So and this sort of things, data communications, there can be versatile ways to implement. It is less defined, less you have to have for each implementation, for each organization it will vary, but there are so many streaming platforms now Apache is providing. So we will try to see, like there is Kafka, there is Spark, and we will need top of these things, because there will be jobs and there will be some services we have to implement. We may call it microservices. So there is microservices, and these microservices you have to do so many things, data communication seamlessly in between them. But to manage, when these things will happen, so many developers will work in several different solutions, but all have to act as one. So to integrate them, you have to put API gateway on them. So API gateway. So its API gateway is currently we will try to show how we can build one. There are so many open source alternatives. Proxy, so we will try to show Joule, and there are some tools. They are also doing this orchestra, doing this sort of things, and we will try to show a discovery solution, maybe console or other things that are available. So I'm not sure about that, where we are going to go on this part, but we will try to cover this when we eventually come. We will try to show this at the very end of this series. So that's in total, I think, and lots of things. It will take time, and we cannot make the video too long. Already it is half an hour. What happens if I make the long video? It become hard to render and publish. So I will try to make it 15 to 10, 20, maybe 20 is more. I mean 15 minutes video each time, so you can go in, publish it easily. If you have any remark or any suggestion that how I can do this or what will help, if you need any help, you can communicate with me. You can mail me, like my mail address. You can find it like it is. You can write it m.art.manna@cloudoffice.io. About this video, I used to teach in 2006-7, and for a long time I have not done that. Almost 12 years I have not done this teaching thing. So I may have so many things maybe I can do in a better way, so that I'm not sure. You can suggest me if you have any suggestion on doing this video. I will of course try to listen to you. So thank you so much. In next we'll try to go to directly to Obese. So we'll try to go a bit more technical, and maybe there are so many experts I know who worked with me. We will try to include them also to do something. Thank you. Bye bye.